Hello, everybody. Welcome to a second contest entry this week. I'm not really a contest entry guy, but when they are put on by people that I really like and really, that really support my channel, I feel not obligated, but I feel a sense of responsibility to do the same for them for all of the love that they've given me and all of the support over the years or months, weeks, however long it's been. So this is a contest for a great guy. If you're a Beatles fan, or just great 60s music, he's a big fan of the Beach Boys. He's recently fallen in love again with Tom Petty. He also likes other stuff too. I mean, he's always talking about things that are in his parents' collection. He shows, Johnny Cash and Glenn Campbell and the Carpenters, and he even likes stuff like Boys to Men. So he's a great guy. His name is Beatle Dustino. I'll put his channel below with his contest video. And Dustin is his name. Dustin wants us to celebrate with him his 1 year on YouTube and to push him towards 700 subscribers. In my first year, I think I maybe had 250 subscribers. So Dustin is beating the system here, getting up to 700 subscribers in a year. So congrats, buddy. He has a great collection, and he's a really nice guy from the Dakotas. So Dustin has a few prompts. This is called the 1 in 7 contest, and I've got my laptop over here with all the information. So the one part is to show or to shout out one to seven YouTube channels. So I'm going to go with 7 because I've subscribed to quite a few. And these are all channels that deserve more subscribers than they have. They are all under where I currently am. But I'm going to start with my good buddy who's currently on hiatus, Rich Strickler up in Pennsylvania. Rich, we all love you. Rich is a great guy. He loves his singer-songwriters from the 70s. He loves his 70s rock. Eagles, America, Jackson Brown. He likes 70s Bob Dylan. Tom Petty. He's a huge Petty. He's a huge Bruce fan, Bruce Springsteen. So Rich is just one of the best guys. I've collaborated with him more than anybody else. I've done hundreds of videos, it seems like, and live streams and collaborations with Brian Massey on Massey's Main Entertainment. So Rich, I know he's taking a break. I'm still in contact with Rich. He's doing fine, but just taking a break from his channel. But Rich, one of my best friends, subscribe to his channel, and all these channels are going to be below as well. Next, another guy that's right up there with Rich is Randall Nelson. That's the name of his channel. Us friends call him Randy. Randy is probably the most diverse in terms of the knowledge that he has for the types of music that he listens to. Randy is big into stuff from the blues era of the 20s and 30s. He loves big band. He is also a big fan of Motown, of doo-wop, of the early rock and rollers, the vocal groups. He knows everything about one-hit wonder 50s doo-wop bands that you'd ever want to know. He's also a big fan of power pop. He loves Elvis Costello. He's got all sorts of information. If you want a wide spectrum, go check out Randy's channel. He's a great guy. I've met Randy in person before. Went out for a meal here, going probably close to 2 years ago, I'd say. And just a really delightful guy. And Randy, we will see you again in the future. Next, I'm going to go with Robert S., also known as RobScure for RobScure Music. I met Robert through some chats on the Stephen Schnee channel of the Ski Lodge show. Robert is always commenting, and Robert is always very supportive when I go live on my channel playing music, and the focus of his channel is, as you can tell, obscure. He talks about the obscure, the one-hit wonders, the people that only had a 45, the bands that are huge but they're never on the radio. Robert does a fantastic job talking about it. He has a wide array of knowledge, and he's been one of the most generous guys. He's given me so many great albums and CDs, and I think a couple of movies. So Robert, you're just the man. Hope to meet you one day in person. And he loves the Avett Brothers. Can't forget that. Next, we're going to go with Steve at All the World's a Stage. I give Steve a hard time. He gives me a hard time on our channels, but it's just because that we're very good friends. I'm being totally serious. Steve and I are really good friends. We talk on the phone from time to time. He even invited me out with a few of the other guys that I've mentioned to go to Oklahoma to see the Bob Dylan Museum in October. Unfortunately, I can't make it due to work, but him and Randy and Glenn Kellaway are all going to go out there to see the Bob Dylan Center in Tulsa. So he's just a great guy. He's also very generous. If he knows that there's something that I like, or if I've mentioned something on my channel, he's one of the first to send it my way without asking. Yeah, so one of these days I would like to meet Steve in person, even though he is very jealous of my hair. Number 5, we're going to go with Kier Smith, From Me to You. I've talked about Kier a couple of times. Fairly new channel. Good old boy out of the UK. Again, From Me to You. He's Beatles centric, but he doesn't always talk about the Beatles. Actually, I'd say probably not even half the time. He's a great guy. He just recently went to go see a festival up in the UK. Did a really great breakdown of that. Saw a lot of great bands. And he just seems like a really nice guy. Again, fairly new to his channel, but every time he posts a video now, I tune in. So Kier Smith, From Me to You. We're going to go with number 6, Mike at MGK Boston. Mike, we all know Mike. He is just a great guy, very prolific. He's always posting videos up. He's a big Deadhead. He loves the Grateful Dead. He is a collector of postcards. He loves reggae music. And just a really, all-around great guy. He's a Canadian turned Bostonian. So we welcome you, Mike, and go Pats. He's a big Patriots fan. And number 7, last but not least, is going to be Rob at Northern Revolutions. I do a weekly live stream with Rob and Glenn Kellaway on Glenn's channel. Rob is a great guy out of Canada. He lives not too far from Glenn. And I know Rob is often in my vicinity of the country. He travels quite a bit to North Carolina for work. So one day I would like to meet up with Rob, maybe hit up a couple of record stores. It would be pretty cool. Great guy. He loves his Canadian music, Blue Rodeo being the big one, but he also likes lesser known artists like the Spice Girls and Taylor Swift. Leave that as it is. But no, Rob is a good guy. Please subscribe to his channel. Me and him have a friendly competition to see who has the most subs at one time. So, but again, he's a good guy. Check him out. Very, he knows his stuff, and he shows it on his channel. He knows all about pressings and the Beatles, and he's just a really smart guy. So check out Rob. Those are my 7, Dustin. Now to move into the prompts. I know this video is going to go long. So number 1, these are the 7 for the 1 and 7. So you have the 1 of all of the YouTube channels. This is the 7 for the 7 prompts. Show us the album that got you into music. Now I want to show the album that really got me digging into music, not CDs or cassettes that I was listening to as a little kid, which would be, Sesame Street, and when I was 5 or so, listening to like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys. This is the album, I've talked about it, this is the album that got me into deep music and deep research. I've talked about this 100 times, so I won't delve. It's Traveling Wilburys, specifically Traveling Wilburys Volume 1, which has Handle with Care, End of the Light, Tweeter and the Monkey Man, Congratulations, just fantastic stuff. The penultimate, the poster child of supergroups with Tom Petty, Roy Orbison, Bob Dylan, Jeff Lynne, and George Harrison. It doesn't get more super than that. You can't do it. Traveling Wilburys Volume 1 got me into music. Number 2, show us the album that got you into your favorite band. Well, my favorite band, just like many other people, are the Beatles. This is Beatles 1. Again, I've talked about this before. I just talked about this in my, how I came to love the Beatles video. Got this in my Easter basket as a cassette tape. Knew all these hits, 27 hits on here. Fast forward 2009. That's when I started buying all the studio albums. Never looked back. Beatles 1 got me into the Beatles. Show an album that got you back into collecting. I'm assuming he means collecting vinyl. So that's what I'm going to go with. And I didn't pull the vinyl. I have it. And this was a hard one because I don't know that there was a specific moment where I was like, I've got to have everything vinyl. Like, I don't think that was ever a moment. It's still not fully a moment. Because if it's an album that I just care remotely about, I'm going to get it on CD. I don't need to spend the extra $15 to get it on vinyl. But an album that really got me, it started building upon my record collection, was this album by Brian Wilson called No Peer Pressure from 2015. This was kind of a collaborative album he did with a bunch of artists like She and Him, Al Jardine, David Marks, Casey Musgraves, Nate Ruse of Fun, Mark Isham. So it was a good album. It's got a lot of poppy stuff on here, which doesn't really fit Brian's sound, including some like dance music on one track. But Mom and Dad got me the double vinyl one year for my birthday, and I thought it was so cool. It was my first double album, if I think about it. And I was really digging this album at the time. Again, 2015, I was in my juniors going into the senior year of college, and my sister, my youngest sister, was also a big fan of this album. We sang it a lot, and we still sing it a lot together. So no peer pressure, I would say. Dustin got me back into collecting. Show a box set that blew you away. That would be this one. It is my favorite box set. This is Tom Petty, Wildflowers, and All the Rest. Came out in 2020. Obviously, it covers the Wildflower sessions from 1995. So this was for the 25th anniversary. And, no, that's not right. 25th? Yeah, 25th anniversary. So this is just, it's got the original Wildflowers, not a remix. It's just the album as is. Then you have All the Rest, which are 10 tracks that were written during the time and recorded, but were not put on the album. Some of those would appear on the She's the One soundtrack, which is the follow-up to this album. Then you have This 3 is home recordings with, again, some more beautiful tracks like There Goes Angela, A Feeling of Peace. Let's see. Confusion Wheel. So stuff again that didn't make the final cut. Then you have Wildflowers Live, which spans from the 1995 when the album came out to the present day at that point, or after he passed. So he does 14 out of 15 songs from the record. The only one he doesn't do is Don't Fade on Me. He never did that live that I'm aware of. But it's all fantastic, and it flows so well. And let's see. No, he does 13 of the 15, because he also adds in the song Girl on LSD, which was a B-side. And then disc 5 is the alternate Wildflowers, which has stuff like A Higher Place on it, which, what was that? Let's see. Yeah, sorry, that was on the album. Sorry, my brain froze for a second. Again, more like acoustic versions of the songs, and then songs like You Saw Me Coming. Just a really, really good set of tracks. There's no filler. Like, you don't get 20 versions of Wildflowers on here. Plus, it has all sorts of goodies. It was out of 50,000 copies or something like that, and I got a lower number in the 4,000s. But it's got, patches and stickers and things like that. So Wildflowers and All the Rest, box set that blew me away. An album by your favorite artist that is underrated, underappreciated, disrespected. That's the third by Bob Dylan. And I'm saying favorite artist. He's my favorite solo artist, and I want it to be a little bit more diverse. But Shot of Love was the third of his so-called gospel trilogy, even though half this album isn't even gospel. You've got songs like Lenny Bruce, Watered Down Love, The Groom Still Waiting at the Altar, In the Summertime, Trouble. Like, half the tracks are not gospel songs, but it's got the beautiful Every Grain of Sand that closes it out. Property of Jesus is a beautiful, it's just a hard rocker. I like the song Lenny Bruce. Really, really good stuff. This is from 1981, and it's my favorite of the gospel trilogy by Bob Dylan. Show an album gifted to you by gifted to you by an artist you had never heard of, never thought you'd listen to. I didn't have anything gifted to me necessarily. I couldn't think of anything, but I did recently buy this album by Jason Isbell, who is a singer-songwriter, and out of Alabama, I think, Alabama or Mississippi. I think it's Alabama. And this is the album Southeastern, which was his breakthrough album. It's got the song Cover Me Up on it. And my buddy Tommy over at Tommy's Musical Adventures, hey Tommy, was, essentially, beat me out of house and home to say, you've got to buy this record. You've got to listen to Jason Isbell. And for the longest time, I could not get behind the Jason Isbell. Something about his vocal, I just couldn't do it. But I recently bought tickets and seen Jason Isbell last month, or it was earlier this month. And I was wanting to get into his music before the show. Well, that's not true. I had bought this album and then decided to go to the show. I wasn't going to, but got cheap tickets and went to go see him. And now I've got about 5 or 6 Jason Isbell albums, and I'm really, really digging it so far. Hopefully, I'm going to become a mega fan at some point. I don't have all of his stuff, but I am getting there. So thank you to Tommy, really, for gifting me the idea of getting into Jason Isbell. And then lastly, show a live album of an artist you've seen more than once or the most in concert. I've got a bunch of ties for first place, so I'm just going to pick one. One of them is Bob Dylan. I'd already shown Bob Dylan. The Wood Brothers, I talk about all the time. I've seen them about 4 times. I saw them twice this year. Yeah, I've seen them 4 times. But I wanted to show, again, one of my favorite groups, the Avett Brothers, who I've also seen 4 times. This is Live Volume 3, which was recorded at the Bojangles Coliseum in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I believe. And it's on the American label by Rick Rubin. This was right around the time of the I Am Loving You album. This came out. And, you've got stuff like Talk on Indolence, Ballad of Love and Hate, I Am Loving You, When I Drink, Murder in the City, I Killed Sally's Lover, Salvation Song, Kick Drum Heart. Just all of the Avett Brothers classics up to that point. It's very raw, very high energy stuff, very punk rock in a lot of extents. So Live Volume 3. But there you go. I'm so sorry this video went so long, but Dustin, you're the man. Everybody go subscribe to his channel. Go subscribe to Rich, Randy, Rob, Steve, Kier, Mike, and Rob. So y'all be good. Take care. Links all below. And yeah, good luck to everybody in the contest. Bye now.